Welcome everyone to another episode of Price Targets with your host Bitcoin Jack. Welcome back. It's Monday. I want to apologize for the irregular schedule of these videos, both to sponsor Prime and obviously everyone who is always loyally watching every week. Been having a little bit of issues with just keeping my sleeping schedule intact and general health. Market has been tough in terms of getting enough rest. A lot of things have been happening. Alts have been going crazy, and positioning on Bitcoin has been, let's say, to put it lightly, challenging. That out of the way, we're going to be looking at Bitcoin, but obviously we're going to be looking at alts too, because they've just been going bonkers. A few nodes later on will be, whether alts are going to continue, where Bitcoin is, officially bullish or bearish. And then obviously we need to look at how we're going to protect our profits. We're going to discuss that later. First, I want your attention for Prime XBT. They're an exchange, my sponsor. And if you sign up with Prime, you will get up to 0.5 BTC bonus, 50% of your first deposit if you use the code BitcoinJack after registering. And just make sure you don't do anything else before you actually use that code, and then you deposit, and then you should get that 50% bonus up to 0.5 BTC. If you withdraw any funds from the exchange, you will lose your bonus, but you can use it to trade, and any profits you make off the bonus will be yours. Thank you, Prime, for sponsoring, and let's dive into, well, I think I want to look at ETH first. So basically, I've been out of ETH as we came into this level, and there was an opportunity to get back in on the lower time frames. If we jump to the hourly, you can see here it kind of traded through the level, retested it, and then it went onto the next level. I didn't get in, unfortunately. At the same time, I'm not really sure if this is the final station for ETH. We'll be identifying. Let's go back to the daily, even the weekly. There's a region, if it goes through here, obviously there is going to be more liquidity up here and up here. We need to consider on the high time frame this to be the entire resistance, and usually what I like to do is draw a fib, look at where the 0.5 is on this entire block right here, and then on the other side we can obviously look at this block, this zone, with the 0.5 being here. So it is reaching resistance levels that should not be easily claimed. If it does go through it, that's where some acceleration probably will happen. I'd be cautious personally. A lot of people will kind of hate me for saying to be cautious up here because they literally believe it will do this, and I'm not saying it won't do that, right? But like, if we need to summarize last year trading ETH, we got some entries here, took profit, got some new entries up here, etc., and we did the same around here, and around here. So essentially, personally, I'm very happy with all the trades made on ETH, and this is a pretty large resistance that, at this point, I'd rather wait for a pullback to occur to get long. I should have taken that last one. I didn't take it. That was probably because I was just, too tired to keep track of it. And then we have Litecoin, right? Litecoin has smashed. There we go. Just had to look for a little bit. Litecoin has smashed into the level that we outlined last week in the video, and I do think that you know, if we claim this, I'd probably start targeting this little block here, because this block is the block that made us lose this level. So there's a little bit of interesting area here, and then probably this wick, which had a lot of volume on Phoenix at least. But I'd be more eager to wait and see if this can retest this zone, and more specifically the block right here to get in. So I'm out of Litecoin. It's probably, you know, I'd be scared to miss out on Litecoin. So even though I took profit, you know, it's done these kind of crazy runs every once in a while. Hopefully it won't do that straight away and pull back into the level, because I'm way more comfortable longing at support than longing at resistance. And these flips here right now are kind of arbitrary in my opinion. So hopefully we can kind of, you know, have a little bit of consolidation, and ideally that would occur as Bitcoin tries to reach into the all-time, you know, important resistance that we had at $61,250. And I want to outline a level here, the monthly. So basically the level right here. When it comes to Bitcoin, I've been burned quite a bit in the last week or so. If you remember last video, I really wanted this 3-day level to hold, so I kind of got out as it lost the level here, and then I only got back in later on here, and here, and every time it's kind of, you know, retracing. So my stops have been getting hit and getting hit, sometimes at a loss, sometimes at a profit. It's just been relentless, and every time, you know, I literally was thinking it's going to make, you know, now it's going to start moving, and then it would just, you know, rate the high, dump, rate the high, dump. So it's been going up and down, and literally at this point, you know, it's been terrible to trade in my opinion. So right now I'm just going to be waiting for Bitcoin to get above that monthly level that I drew here, and I want that level smashed and retested on the daily. So, you know, if we look at the 1 hour, for example, right now, this is just, you know, it dumps, moves, moves. This entire hourly candle, you know, got a lot of people trapped at the stops here. But in no way it kind of does tell me that, you know, this is going to break up or down. We can identify some sort of inverse head and shoulders, I guess, but it's getting really complex right now, because you could say that there's one here as well, and then it got up, and then you could say there's probably one here as well. And every time it kept dumping. So what's going on basically on Bitcoin is, you know, everyone's just getting smashed on all sides, and it literally could go up or down. I'm not, you know, it's impossible for me right now to have a really good read. I remain of the opinion that Bitcoin is high time frame bullish. If we look at weekly levels, you know, it's been hugging resistance so many times right now. It just makes no sense, you know, in my opinion, for this to sell off. But what I've learned throughout the years trading is that, you know, never say never. And if we do break down, if we do lose levels, things could get really ugly, and it's probably going to come down and test a weekly demand at, you know, maybe as low as 38. That kind of sounds silly, and I don't believe that's what's going to happen, but at the same time, it's been taking so long to break out. So really, Bitcoin kind of cautious. I remain optimistic, I guess, but I'm not trading it at this point because levels are not being respected and it's just going up and down, up and down, up and down. So the problem probably is going to be that once it starts moving, it's probably going to be a giant move. And that's also probably why I've been sleeping so bad, because it can happen. It can happen at any time, and that's just creating a massive amount of anxiety. I wake up like 10 times during the night checking the price. Sometimes I get out of bed, readjust some stops or readjust some orders, and it's just not been healthy in general. Luckily, alts have been doing fine, so some money has been made there, but overall, I think I want to be patient here when it comes to Bitcoin. Let's have a look at Bitcoin dominance. Like it's pretty wild. It has retraced to the 0.07 for the 0.7 fib of the bottom here to the top here, which is a huge move. Like this is pretty insane. I'd say that if this were a tradable chart, if this were an asset, and I believe you can chart it that way, then this region right here should really be some kind of resistance for alts, so kind of support for Bitcoin dominance. It wouldn't be surprising that we see a little bit more old action and then some kind of pullback. At some point there's going to be some profit taking. I don't think that's going to be the last of it. I really think that if this happens, we're eventually think we're going to make like new record low levels on Bitcoin dominance. So, new highs on alts. And I'm not really sure if all alts are going to make new highs because we have so many new alts that have been sucking up liquidity. But definitely there's more juice left in the longer term. It would make sense though that there's going to be some kind of reaction to the 0.786, 0.705-ish region. So, and if we, if we look at ETH, and you remember what I was just saying, it does make sense that this region here has some resistance, and so that would kind of have confluence with it. And obviously Bitcoin dominance is just a proxy of what we're seeing here in reverse. Same with Litecoin, and I mean, obviously it's definitely it's entirely possible for this to come way down here, but after such a large run, personally I'm of the opinion that starting to take profit is a smart choice, and the past has shown that it's a smart choice. We'll have to I cannot give you any advice how to handle that. If you sell, it's very likely that you won't be selling the exact top, so things will continue going up, and it's just going to be difficult to not FOMO back in. In my opinion, profits are profits, and if you believe that Bitcoin is an asset that will continue appreciating, then taking profit into Bitcoin at this point is not a bad idea, and there will be new opportunities on alts that have better risk-defined entries than longing resistance right now. And the funny thing is that these alts have been going down against BTC for such a long time that some of that supply is just so lost. Like Litecoin, for example, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who bought Litecoin at some point in the past and they don't even remember they have it in their wallet. So, and then I think big hands have been accumulating it. So it's a very skewed supply-demand situation for a lot of these alts. And then you have DeFi, obviously, that's been locking a lot of supply into staking. So, you know, alts will remain strong in this year, I think, until Bitcoin really tops out and we enter a bear market. Personally, I don't think Bitcoin has reached the end of its cycle. I think it will break up. And if it doesn't, it's probably going to go retest like 38k, 42k, somewhere in that region, from which I think the bull run will continue to 100k plus. But it's going to be tricky to really predict what Bitcoin's going to do until we, you know, smash through some levels here. But you cannot, you know, you can't deny Bitcoin's resiliency here. And at the same time, it hasn't broken out, so really gotta wait. In my opinion, if we manage to get above here and close above, you know, the weekly high, then it's game on, and we're going to continue into the levels we've been talking about for a long time. So probably 90k to start with would be. I'd love that personally if that happens. Right now, no exposure to margin longs, and hopefully we'll get a setup on the long side. I don't think I have much more to say. It's tricky. I hope you guys stay safe out there, and Wednesday I'll make a video with some more concrete, actionable setups. For now, I hope that you know, everyone stays safe, and talk to you on Wednesday. Cheers.